Hello everyone, and welcome to my updated Abyss Actor deck profile. So I've made a few changes since the last one, and I'll go over why I've made the changes, explain the new cards that I have in the deck, as well as explaining the relevant effects for the cards that we run. So to start off, we play 3 Mel Madonna. The reason we play this card is because it's a scale 8, and its pendulum effect allows you to search for any Abyss Actor monster from your deck at the cost of 1000 life points. You can't search Mel Madonna, and you're locked into Abyss Actors, but this gets you any card you want. It's 1 card pendulum scale. Next we play 3 copies of Superstar. So this card basically sets any Abyss script from your deck, which is really good for searching out whatever you want. It's a really good power card. Next we play 3 Wild Hope. So this is a very versatile card. Pendulum effect allows you to make another Abyss Actor in the pendulum scale 9, which means you can special summon out any Abyss Actor pendulum monster you like. Its monster effect gives itself an attack boost, which is helpful when you need to push for a little bit of extra damage. But if it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can add 1 Abyss Actor card from your deck to your hand. So it's really good for adding some staying power to the deck, but as well you can use it on your own turn, pop it, and then get a search of it for whatever you need. So it's really good for that. Next we play 3 copies of Curtain Raiser. So if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your Pendulum Zone, so once per dual effect, and once per turn you can send 1 Abyss Script spell from your deck to the graveyard to add a face-up Abyss Actor Pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. So this card is really good for rank 4 plays because it's a free summon, but as well as that, it's a really good consistency card, and it can make you go +4, +5 in the mid or late game as well, so you should run out of 3, I think. Next I play 3 Comic Relief. So it's a scale 8, and its pendulum effect is a creature swap effect, and it also pops itself after the effect resolves, because that way you can make your Abyss scripts alive, so it's actually good the fact that it pops itself. And its monster effect is that once per turn, if control of this card changes, you can destroy 1 set Abyss script on the field. So this is really good for destroying your own cards and setting up OTKs. So yeah, really good card in the deck. Next we play 3 copies of Abyss Actor Extras. So if your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your Pendulum Zone, and in the Monster Zone you contribute this card to place 1 Abyss Actor Pendulum monster from your deck into your Pendulum Zone. So this gets you any card you want, and is a 1 card pendulum scale. As well as that, it leads to so many OTKs, so yeah, you should definitely play this card at 3 as well. So if you notice, I'm playing 3 of all the Abyss Actors that lead to easy OTKs and are really good for consistency. And lastly, for the Abyss Actors, I'm playing Funky Comedian. So I think this card is necessary in at least the side deck, as it is the deck's only native out to monsters like Dragoon, Avramax, Chaos Max, basically any monster that can't be targeted, because our best cards, Rise of the Abyss King and Comic Relief, they all target. So you could play Fancy Magic instead, but I would say this card is superior, as it isn't a brick, it's scale 8, you can use it to go into Hyper Director, it isn't as easily negated as Fancy Magic as well. Because if they negate the pendulum effect or destroy it, you can just pendulum summon it back and use the monster effect instead. And basically both effects are you contribute 1 Abyss Actor and target another Abyss Actor to give that card the attack of the one you tributed. So it's really good for getting over large attack boss monsters, as I said, that can't be targeted. It also means that you won't take damage when attacking for removal like you would with Fancy Magic, and it can also deal with monsters that are unaffected by card effects like the Matmech Synchro or Blackwing Full Armor Master. So yeah, that rounds up the Abyss Actor monsters. Now for the spells, we play 3 copies of Rise of the Abyss King. So you can target face-up cards on the field up to the number of attack position Abyss Actor monsters you control with different names and destroy them. And the best thing about this card is if you control level 7 or higher Abyss Actor monster, your opponent cannot activate card effects in response to this card's activation. So I used to play this at 2, but it's a really good card to hard draw, as it can bait so many gates or remove problematic monsters such as Zeus before you start your plays. So for example, you special out your Abyss Actor Extras, you use Rise of the Abyss King on Zeus, they have to use the effect of Zeus, otherwise there's no point in being in the field. So you bait the negate, Zeus is destroyed, then you can use a normal summon and continue with your plays. So this card is really, really good. You should play it at 3, I think. Also, playing it at 3 allows your Curtain Raiser monster effect to have a bit less risk to it as well, so there is that as well. Next we play 2 copies of Abyss Tainment. So you can tribute one Abyss Actor monster, then target one Abyss Scripted spell in your graveyard, set it to your field. You can use this twice per turn, and if this set card on the field is destroyed by opponent's card effect, you can special summon as many Abyss Actors as you want from your deck. So if you resolve this card on your opponent's turn, they can actually Nibiru you in some cases. But this card leads to so many OTKs when you're swapping control of it with Comic Relief. So yeah, I did try playing it at 1 for a bit, but I feel like at 2 is better because you see a lot more OTK combos, but also it gives your scripts a lot more gas as well. So that's really good. Now for the non-Abyss Actor cards, we play 3 Parallel Exceed. So the biggest problem adding non-Abyss Actor monster cards into your deck is that you're very quickly locked into Abyss Actors. But you can bring out Parallel Exceed before that, though, as we have a Link 1 in Hyper Director. So this lets us have a much better turn 1 board because we can make a nice rank 4 like Abyss Dweller or Baguska. It also gives us more attack power going second and allows us to have some more link plays, that sort of thing. It can also be really good for baiting negates like Ash Blossom on your Abyss Tainment or your Mellow Madonna. And it can also bait cards that stop your Hyper Director resolving like Gamma, Imperm, Effect Veiler as well. So this basically guarantees that your Abyss Actor plays go through, because from what I found more often than not, people will try and negate the Parallel Exceed. So it's just really good bait, and if they don't have a response to it, it just makes your board better as well. Next, for the hand traps, I play 3 Artifact Lancia. Stops your opponent from banishing on their turn, really helpful because we never banish. 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. It's just very versatile hand trap, nice to have. Then I play 3 Drone Lockbird for the last of my hand traps. You can really swap these out for any. You can also swap out the Parallel Exceeds, to be honest, if you want to run 12 hand traps instead. Just depends if it's worth it or not for you. Next, for the spells, we play 2 Cosmic Cyclone and 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. So Abyss Actors have no built-in ways of removing set back row, so main decking these in the current format works really well, can help you push for OTK. And lastly, I play 1 copy of 1 for 1. So this card searches mostly extras, occasionally Funky Comedian as well, but extras is a 1 card pendulum scale, as I've said before, and it's also the key to a lot of OTK combos. So although this is a neg 1, you generate so much card advantage with Abyss Actors that it doesn't really matter. It can also be used for baiting out Ash, so you can resolve Mellow Madonna or Abyss Tainment as well. So yeah, it's just a really good consistency card and a good baiting card as well. So that rounds up the main deck. Now for the extra deck, we play 3 copies of Abyss Actor Hyper Director. So this is a Link 1 that allows us to play Parallel Exceed. Its monster effect is that once per turn you can target 1 Pendulum monster in your scale, you special summon it, and then you scale an Abyss Actor from deck. So you can special summon any Pendulum monster with this effect, such as Morphage Goliath, so it's handy for that. It does lock into Abyss Actors after this, but this gets you any card you want from deck, and it also leads to so many OTK combos that you just plus off it. It's a really good card. Next we play 1 Link Karibo. So this is for the dinosaur matchup, so you can get rid of the Lost World token, as most of our good cards like Rise of the Abyss King and Comic Relief, they all target. It also works for triggering Parallel Exceed early to bait the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno effect, because what you can do is summon out Exceed, make a rank 4 such as Utopia the Lightning, and then attempt to enter battle phase, so that will have the Dino player will almost certainly activate the effect then, to stop you from just being over it. Next we play IP Masquerade, so you won't want to make this going first, but after turn 1 it becomes a free Avramax if you link away your monsters, and then you can just pendulum summon back 2 from the extra deck underneath it, and that's a free Avramax. So this gives us a good boss monster. And then next I play Geonator Transverser. So this is here for the creature swap effect. The protection effect is okay as well. It rarely comes up, but in the next video I'll show a combo that does use it, so I would say it is worth playing because we're not exactly tight on space in the extra deck. Then I play the already mentioned Avramax, and I also play 1 Borolo Dragon just for the removal if it's needed as well. It's also got good link arrows, both of them, which help us pendulum summon back. Next we play 1 Baguska and 1 Dweller. So these are our primary going first cards if we open Parallel Exceed, really good floodgates. Then we play 1 Tornado Dragon. Now this is primarily for going second. Again, if we open Exceed, because it means we can just pop some back row quickly before we start with our plays. So it's very handy for that. Next we play one number 39 Utopia and one Utopia the Lightning. Again, we make rank 4s really easily in this deck, and this just helps us beat over problematic boss monsters. So for example, it's really good against Dragoon because Utopia the Lightning stops effects being activated during the damage step, so it's very easy to get rid of. And lastly we play Raider's Knight, and we also play Orc Rebellion XYZ Dragon. So this is another OTK route using just one Curtain Raiser and any other level 4 Abyss Actor. So even if you don't OTK, it can be a good card to bring out as it will negate all monster effects on the field. Its attack gain is permanent, and also it can't be destroyed by card effects. So it's just really good for beating over massive boards where you've already baited some negates, for example. One good example of a deck this is really good against would probably be Heroes. So it does come up fairly often because you'd play 3 of the cards that can make this, so really good and really easy. And it's also under 5 summons as well, so it's probably about the only OTK you can do this deck that isn't susceptible to Nibiru as well. So that rounds up the extra deck as well. After this I'll do another combo video showing some of the new combos that I've got, and after that I'll probably show some replays as well, just so you can see how the deck functions against interruptions and that sort of thing. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.